I don't know if you're the type of person to say, come and see, check this out. I do that. I occasionally will say that and demand the attention of the people in my life. The other day, our dog Hobie was trying to get a ball from underneath the couch, and I said, look it. He was being so funny, squirming around and kind of worming his way under there. And he was so happy when he got the ball out from under the couch. Usually when someone says with great enthusiasm, come and check this out, look at this. It's worth it. A bird's nest with chicks in it, a funny video, or an amazing sunset. These are all things that I've seen because someone said, look it. In each case, my life, even if it's just something small, is a little bit richer, a little better because of seeing something new and unexpected. Easter feels like familiar territory. It's the centerpiece of our faith. It's not Christmas, Epiphany, Transfiguration, or even Spy Wednesday. It's Easter, and we are Easter people, a people of the empty tomb, embracing a miracle and a mystery. We come together week after week, not because of the cross, but because of what followed. It wasn't enough that Jesus suffered and died. It was what happened next. Now, depending on your perspective, Jesus died for different reasons. If you're Roman, he died because he was trying to incite a revolution. He died for sedition. He was a rabble-rouser, and his punishment fit the crime. From the religious leaders' perspective in his day, he was a threat to their power. People followed him instead of following the temple priests, instead of following the Pharisees, the Sadducees, instead of listening to the Sanhedrin. The crowds are a little harder to pin down. From the perspective of the crowds, maybe he was a bit too big for his britches. He said he would rise from the dead, and Friday afternoon, there was someone who may have walked by the cross and said, "Now look at you." For his followers, there was confusion. Some thought he was the political Messiah. He was the one who would kick out the Romans. That didn't happen. And if it had, the Romans would have been right. He would have been guilty of inciting revolution. Others of his followers may not have known what to think. Things that he said may have started to come into focus. Oh, he had just talked about needing to die, but is this what he meant? And here we are, 2 millennia later, celebrating what was so confounding to those around the time of Jesus' death. Instead of finding his body when Mary Magdalene and the other Mary went to the tomb, they experienced an earthquake and a divine encounter. An angel came down from heaven, opened the tomb, sat on a stone, and basked in the shafts of light exploding all around. The story's magnificent. That's the reason we have so many Easter anthems and songs and passion plays and reenactments. Despite the pageantry, the real message is the empty tomb. The angel says, there's nothing to fear here. I know you're looking for Jesus, the one they nailed to the cross, but you know what? He is not here. He is risen just as he said. Then the messenger says something very interesting, something that can speak to us today, something that can resonate wherever we are. The angel said, "Come and go." Everything changed at Easter. No longer was this band of sectarian Jews following an itinerant rabbi. The organization didn't change overnight. That came a lot later. It really didn't come until Constantine adopted some Christian symbols. But at this point, they're still trying to make sense of it. Go back to that first Easter morning, the one depicted here in our gospel lesson in Matthew. Matthew's story of that empty tomb shows Jesus defeat death. The angel says there's nothing to fear. Jesus, God incarnate, has power over death. You don't have to be afraid of anything. Not COVID-19, not social distancing, not isolation, not economic hardship, not even how long this pandemic will last. God is more powerful. That doesn't mean we stop washing our hands or using hand sanitizer. It doesn't mean we stop our social distancing. We do those things in hope and assurance of everlasting life. You can kill Jesus, but he's just going to rise again. There's nothing to fear. The angel invites the women to come in and see. It would be great to stop right there. And on some level, it would be really nice if our story ended right at that moment, to rest in the good news, to rest in the glory, to stop and pause and just soak it all in. But God has other plans. The women have a mission. And the most exciting thing about Easter every year is that each one of us gets to have a mission too. The women had to share the good news with others. The angel says, go quickly, go tell the others. These women were the first evangelists of the good news in the Gospel of Matthew. What about us? God invites us to come and see. Check out the empty tomb. And if you can't see it, open your eyes. Open your eyes and see the signs of resurrection all around us all the time. See the signs of new life, little miracles taking place, little acts of wonder and glory, little bits, little glimpses of heaven where the veil is stretched thin or pulled away. Little reminders of new life, and it's up to us whether or not we see them, whether or not we open our eyes, or let them pass by. The other day, as I was coming in the side door to the church office, I saw a sign of new life and it filled me with hope. In the midst of all of the bad news, in the midst of everything going on around us, I saw this little reminder that spring is here, Easter is here, and that the end of Holy Week was still just ahead of us, but it would arrive. Just outside the doors to the church, a robin built a nest. And she was sitting there dutifully sitting on her eggs. I really wanted to get a picture of her. I really wanted to get one that perfectly captured the hope in this image, but she wasn't having it. When I saw the nest and I saw those eggs, I thought about what lies ahead. I thought about new life. I thought about the future. This, whatever this is in your life, whatever the bad news, whatever the hardship, whatever the struggle you are encountering, won't last forever. When the angel spoke to the women, they could have said, this is exciting, but I was just stopping by and I've got another commitment. I was just going to come by to lay some spices out, do a little bit, but I've got other plans right now, and it's just really not convenient for me to be a part of God's work. As I read this passage, I wonder how often we respond to God with the same kind of excuse. We say, I could pray. Nah, I got something else to do, or I'll do it later. I could serve. I could be a part of your work at the church. No, I've got something else to do. I could join the Bible study. No. Worship? Gosh, it's even more convenient now. Raise your hand on YouTube and Facebook if you're in your PJs right now. Don't send selfies. Each one of us is invited to see where Jesus lay and find that he's not there. We're invited to reconnect on Easter with the miracle of our faith. Every year we can rejuvenate our belief in God with us. Today we can't go. We can't literally go. We have to maintain a safe distance from one another. It's the only way to flatten the curve. Today things have changed. We hear about new bad news almost daily. Job losses, economic slowing. And when we talk to friends, maybe we hear the anxiety in their voices. Maybe we have people in our own lives. Maybe we have experienced some sort of economic hardship. When we talk to others, we hear about their loneliness. Yet we can still hear the angel's invitation. And even maintaining distance, we can respond. Instead of going out from this sanctuary, you're watching from home. So we adapt and we let God's voice reach us where we are. We can use all of the tools that are at our disposal to go. We can use everything that is available to us in 2020 to go. We can post on our social media, Jesus is alive. We can tell everyone we know via text, messenger, WhatsApp, Snapchat, whatever your poison is, Happy Easter. And we can talk to people from a safe social distance saying, how are you? And really mean it. How are you? And then listen. And if the answer is one of those surface responses, I'm fine, we can say, no, really, I've got the time. Tell me, how are you? We can be the love of the risen Christ in a world that so desperately needs something good, something to hope for. We can be an Easter reminder. We can be God's hands and feet. We can encourage others, check in with them, find out ways to serve them, maybe help them get groceries, or as Will mentioned, sew masks, or join in any of the other projects to help in this time of crisis. We can join in to make sure people know that they're not alone. Easter is this time of hope and a reminder of life everlasting. This right now, this isn't it. This isn't the end. The end isn't death, it's life. Hear the angel's invitation. Come and see. And then respond. Christ is risen. Because he is risen indeed. Amen.